Hey everyone, welcome to my Learning Theory in Practice presentation. I chose to design a learning experience, which is how to play volleyball, specifically a serving intervention which reflects principles of the cognitive learning theory and practice and feedback protocols learned in Chapter 6 of the textbook. This learning intervention is part of a 5-day course for adults. The course is in person, which will take place in the gymnasium. It is a 1-week workshop led by an instructor, which will occur Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The goals of this learning experience are to learn the basic rules and techniques of indoor volleyball, and it's designed for beginner adults who would like to learn the basics of volleyball. Chapter 6 in the textbook is titled How or What Kinds of Feedback and Practice Enhance Learning. Chapter 6 focuses on the principle that goal-directed practice coupled with targeted feedback is critical to learning. It focuses on the cycle of practice and feedback, focusing on a specific goal, practice oriented to that goal, identifying an appropriate level of challenge for your practice for your learners, accumulating lots of experience practicing, communicating progress throughout the experience and directing subsequent efforts, and timing this feedback appropriately. It places a large emphasis on the relationship between effective practice and effective feedback. It states that effective feedback includes goal-specific criteria, appropriate level of challenges, and a sufficient quantity and frequency of this effective practice. Effective feedback needs to be communicated appropriately and directly related to your learning goals. And the instructor needs to provide this information so students can use it appropriately to help reach their goal. These things must work together to ensure that learners reach their goals. I chose to include figure 6.1 from the textbook, which is the cycle of practice and feedback. As you can see, the learning goal is placed in the center, surrounded by different opportunities to practice, having your performance observed, and targeted feedback. I also chose to include the quote, "The problem of unproductive practice is even worse when students fail to receive sufficient feedback along the way." This connects to cognitivism because it emphasizes the role that environmental conditions play in the facilitation of learning. Key pieces of the cognitive learning theory include explanations, demonstrations, giving examples and non-examples, and emphasis on practice with corrective feedback. This is all about the learning environment which supports those things. So the learning experience as a whole is for any adult that signs up who would like to learn the basics of indoor volleyball. This is a 5-day course, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it occurs in a gymnasium with a volleyball net and balls. This course was designed to help beginners learn the sport of volleyball, including the rules, equipment, and skills such as serving, passing, setting, and hitting. The learning intervention I wanted to focus on will specifically focus on the skill of volleyball serving. This intervention was designed using aspects of cognitive learning theory and practice and feedback protocols learned in the textbook, How Learning Works, Chapter 6, What Kinds of Practice and Feedback Enhance Learning. The objectives for this intervention are as follows. Learners will be able to serve a volleyball from the end line of the court into the opponent's side. Learners will be able to serve the ball over the net from multiple locations on the court. And learners will be able to correctly identify the end line, back zone, 10-foot line, sideline, and center line on the volleyball court. Here is a course outline of my serving intervention. On day one, the first thing that will happen is the instructors will take a video of all learners serve. With an expert, the learners will watch their video with an expert, and they will work together to determine their own goals for their serve. There will be an opportunity for learners to practice serving with feedback each day, and each day they will receive explicit instructions and demonstrations on how to do a specific part of the skill of serving. So on day one, they will have explicit instruction in the lines of the court and how to serve properly. On day two, they will review their goals, and the instructor will demonstrate foot placement and how to toss the ball properly. Learners will then again have opportunity for practice serving with feedback. On day three, they're going to take a midweek progress video of the learner serves. So with an expert, they're going to review their progress and make adjustments to their goals if needed. The instructor on day three will demonstrate following through with a straight arm for their serve. Again, they will have an opportunity for practice serving with feedback. On day four, they will review their goals. They will be practice serving from multiple locations on the court, stepping back farther and farther each time so that they can build strength and practice making it over the net. And also have practice serving with feedback. On day five, they will review their goals, practice serving with feedback, review their progress and learning throughout the intervention. And at the end, learners will complete assessment being watched serve 10 balls over the net. At the end, they will complete the self-assessment to reflect on their learning process throughout this experience. Here are my references. And that is the